As the name of my channel suggests, I used to make stop-motion animations. Like, a lot of them. I actually got really good at animation, but over time my passion for it faded in favor of other interests. But today I've decided to try combining my old passion of stop-motion with my new passion of film photography to try something that I haven't seen anybody do in the modern day. Make a stop-motion animation using film. Now, the reasons for not doing this are actually pretty great. The biggest one is that film is stupidly expensive. A roll of film only gets you 36 shots at most, and animation often requires hundreds of photos. If we say that the average price of a roll of film is like $15 to $20, that gets pretty expensive pretty fast. However, I have a way of making the cost just a little bit better, and that's to use a half-frame camera. For those of you who don't know what half-frame is, it's exactly what it sounds like. Half-frame cameras can take double the number of photos on a roll of film than a standard 35mm camera. As a result, you can get a whopping 72 pictures on a single roll of film. The half-frame camera I used for this task was the Samurai X 3.0. For the film, it felt fitting to use some cinema film, so I ended up using Cinestill BWXX. I wanted black and white film because part of what I wanted from this experiment was to see the film grain in the final product, and grain tends to be more noticeable on black and white film rather than color film. Now, there are a few caveats that come with using this camera, the biggest ones being the autofocus and the auto exposure. The camera is basically a point and shoot, so you can't control either of those things, which is a little problematic for stop motion. All I can do is hope that the focus and exposure is consistent between shots. Once I finished shooting all the frames, I quickly developed the film and started scanning them. But this is where we run into a problem. Newton rings. Simply put, if you have two glossy surfaces lightly touching each other, such as a piece of film and the glass bed of a scanner, this interference pattern forms. I absolutely hate Newton rings, but in this case, I don't really have a way of getting rid of them, so I just have to let them be part of the animation. After begrudgingly scanning all 72 frames, I lined them up one by one in Paint.net. And a few hours of work later, I put all the aligned frames together and this is the final product. And I've gotta say, I'm pretty happy with it, even if it's riddled with Newton rings. I decided to make the frame rate 12 FPS, which brings the runtime to about 6 seconds. For a proof of concept, that's not bad. But if you want to make a full short film with this technique, don't do it. Your bank account does not deserve the abuse. Anyway, that's about everything from me. Thanks for watching, everybody.